Ladies and gentlemen,
Duncan McKenzie.
A lot of people in the room that I know quite well in here. You youngsters from the young folks down there. Come on, Michelle. There you go. I tell these young folks, I said, I don't know, I was a good player. I finished, I was a great player. The Spice Girls chasing after me, you're looking at this great old, well, I'll call the Beverly Sisters there. Didn't see Gillette and Hicks at the game on Wednesday, did you? They've been Liverpool fans since the days of Bert Shankly and Bugsy Moran. Oh, I love it. That club is, isn't it? Nice one. There you go. You saw that, another one that would have been in the lookalike thing, Tommy Smith. And in those days, you know, what a bag of he was. What I want now, he can't catch me. Anyway, he kicked enough people, didn't he? It's lovely to be here. Raghouse kid from Grimsby became semi-skilled scouser. How about that? I was 18 when I left school. You can't do that now, can you? Well, you can, but you can't be a professional footballer. Remember, we got Wayne Rooney when he was 9. Now it just shows you done another 2 years education might have made all the difference. And it was an Evertonian, of course, that signed me for Nottingham Forest, Johnny Carey. Oh, signed it on the 18th birthday, June the 10th, 1968. 3 months later, it's like a boy's own comic strip. He gave him a debut. Sunderland, playing against the legend Charlie Hurley. Only the very old to remember Charlie. Legend from Ireland. Great player, lovely man. 2 weeks later, can you imagine in your wildest dreams? 14 weeks after leaving school, I was picked to play against Manchester United at the City Ground, Nottingham. Hey, update. I know. I'm on the same pitch. I only work on my fucking own if you don't mind. I was on the same. I was on the same pitch. Can you imagine? Wildest dreams. 50,000 people, City Ground, Nottingham. I'm on the same pitch as Best, Law, and Charlton. I wanted to pass the ball to Law Charlton. Can you imagine what it was like for Raga? Try and keep it down for a roll with you. And send someone else to get a chairman here, try to get some sleep. That's very difficult. £12 a week I was on when I made my debut. £12 a week. £2 a win, £1 a draw. Now that brings me nicely onto that. That is me, a few young pups in the corner. That is me jumping over a mini in 1975. That is the last time I ever did it, to be honest. There were 30,000 people at Ellen Road that day. I am not as stupid as that picture looks. When the kids at Forest found out that I could jump over cars, they went out into the streets and bet the unsuspecting public a £5 I could jump over their car. A tenner if it was a jag. 2 minis or 1 jag a week, double my wages. For the first 2 years of my career, I earned more money jumping over cars than I did. Now we are raising money for the foundation tonight, so if anybody wants one of these, I've got a few hundred behind. We charge a tenner a piece and we'll dedicate it to get people else to sign it if they so wish, that kind of thing. So that could help a little bit later on. But getting back to me, well, I mean, my life went on at such a pace, I couldn't believe what happened. I played for the most unbelievable football club in the world, Nottingham Forest. It was the only club that did not have a board of directors. It had 20 committee members, they were all Jewish. It was the centre of the rag trade, very clever people, and there were 20 Rolls Royces in a line in the car park when you went to play football for them. Now, because it was a committee, they had to guarantee money in case of dangerous times. So they had a wonderful, wonderful solution to this. At the end of every season, they sold their best player. And again, for the older ones, you young ones, talk amongst yourselves. I mean, they sold Terry Hennessy, Alan Hinton, Henry Newton to Everton,
Yes.
Cormac to you lot. Ian Storey-Moore to Manchester United was a step too far. Forest went down. Now, the door shut in their face, but it opened for me. I started scoring a few goals. You know, and I tell you, you girls, I mean, you can't believe what we had to put up with when we played in our time. Now, it's not in my day, but honestly, girls, I mean, you go and watch a football match now, they've all got grass on the pitches, you know, and it's February. What I would have given for a blade of grass in February in the 70s. It was wall-to-wall. Something down the and trust me, I scored 20 goals a season, me, 10 in August and 10 in May. And sort of got trench foot through the winter. At the end of this first season in the second division, I'd scored 28 league goals and a few cup games, a few cup goals, and I got a phone call right out of the blue. Duncan, Alf Ramsey here. Would you be good enough to join the England team to play against the Scotland team? Hampden Park, Glasgow, week on Saturday. Yeah? Thank you. Put the phone down, the enormity sank in. I thought with a name like Duncan McKenzie from Grimsby, they'll rape me when we go to Glasgow. It was the best day of my life. I sat in the away team dressing room. It's 20-3, and Alf Ramsey walked in the door. I didn't know much, but I knew enough. Don't look at the manager. He might stop and talk to you. So I put my head down and looked at my shoes. He went past me and past everyone, and he stopped in front of the senior player and captain for the day. God love him. Alan Ball. He gave the entire team talk to Paulie. I never forgot a word. He said, Paulie, I say Paulie, tell the boys how much I hate the jocks. And he walked out the dressing room. Seconds later, the bell went, and Paulie jumped up, and we all lined up behind him, and I nearly tracked on there already. I'm on the bench, and he turned to reiterate Sir Alf's great words to us, and he looked at us because he couldn't see his ball. He moved to the side, and he looked down the line, and that's an inevitable style of his. He said, "Thank you, Adam." He said, "Let me get over there. Don't have a good imagine on this wall." Took us into the corridor. And we're lined up behind him, then behind the legendary Billy Bremner, this great Scotland team. And I say that for you youngsters because I know you'll find it hard to believe, but Scotland did have a good team. Well, not bad. And I'm looking down these, and all these were good to be my teammates. Well, most of them, except one that was not more than 3 yards where you are, sir, and it was the king. Dennis Law, my all-time hero, and I'm in a trance. I'm just gawking at the great man with my jaw down. Bang! The door went behind us. It was Mario Bellucci, the best referee in the world, allegedly, from Rome. He came past us to a flurry of talcum powder. You know what the Italians are doing. Not to generalise. He led us to the middle of the pitch, and he called Bremner and Ball together. He tossed the coin, caught it back at the end. I thought, old jokes about a word. Yeah. Probably got the time sharing the shepherd. The Man United and Scotland left back, he got on the outside, the inside, back on the outside, the lights went out. Before Shannon hit the deck, Bellucci's there, the arms are locked, the yellow card's held up. Hey! Not done nothing to play for Former Academy. This time you'll take my warning card, I'm Benito, taking a notice of Mario, you visit my bathroom, capiche? Cut it out. We get to half time, nil 4:05, all hell broke loose. Alex Forsyth impaled Nick Shannon on the railings across the running track. 3 St John's ambulance men it took to get him off the railings back on the field of play. Bellucci's having none of it, straight to Forsyth, the red card's produced. No, you're not a piece. Premier take a warning, you're giving me to taking a notice of Mario. This time you take a red card, leave my fair play, go to my bathroom. See you, Jimmy. See you. He said that he's going to know and he'll be in your. I said, no. He said, it's too late to apologise to me now. They were great days. They weren't better days. Because you oldens, don't be telling these kids life was better 30 years ago just because you go to bed at night leaving the front door wide open. Who was going to come in your house and nick in mangle? But a moment in time when I'm going to talk about one or two managers, but I mean, the first and top of the list has got to be David Moyes, the way he's been behaving just lately. 6 years. It doesn't seem fun. It's 6 years, and he's revolutionised the club. When he arrived, we had all sorts of problems. Well, we had David Ginola, didn't we? I think.
Yeah. Say, look.
He was pregnant. He had to go. Best player in a generation in Paul Gascoigne, but Gazza's Gazza, isn't he? Hamster's dead, but we'll still going round. And 2 years ago, we lost our icon, Big Dunk. He finally hung up his gloves for good. He's living in Mallorca now. I think I can share this with you. It don't make Gazza look like a candidate for mastermind. He's not the thickest person on Merseyside. I think that safely belongs to his burglar. Fancy breaking into his house on a Saturday afternoon. He might have only been sat there waiting. There's been unmitigated success in the current climate when you think of what's been going on with the Big Four and the tens and tens of millions that they've been spending left, right and centre to do it on the shoestring, and to go the last 6 or 8 weeks without a striker. And on that note, Victor Anachibi sends his regards from Trinidad. We've not really had any fit strikers at all, and then when you ask some young kid, some gosling to step to the mark, he turns out to be the goose that cooked Liverpool's chips for the season. To be fair, I think you might just hang on to 4th place if you do well between now and the end of the season. But it's no, I mean, talk about managers, which leads me on probably to one. Let me tell you first, I'm going to be a film star next month. Oh yes, there's the Damned United. They're doing a film about Fluffy's 44-day reign at Leeds United, and of course I'm in it, and I think Brad Pitt's playing me. Certainly, Michael Sheen is doing Fluffy, and he does it brilliantly. And the brilliant line out of our Wiedersehen, whose name escapes me, is Peter Taylor. And it is hilarious. It is hilarious. The book was ingenious in itself, but the film is absolutely hilarious. So that's one for you, though. You've got to, regardless of your denomination, you've got to go and watch that one. It's a belter. So he signed in 1974. He gave Nottingham Forest £250,000 for me. I can see you're right impressed by that answer. David Beckham will work his rocks off for 20 minutes to get that kind of I was a British record transfer fee. And I went to my first press conference, and a guy stood up in a room with about 200 journalists in there from the Sunday Times. His name, David Miller. And he had the type of face you'd never get tired of smacking, I promise you. This long nose with the pince nez perched on the end of his nose. And he looked down his nose at me as if I was a piece of dirt under his shoe, and he said, "Good God, is it £250,000 for a player?" I said, "Nobody's worth that." I said, "I don't think I'm worth it." I said, "Don't have a go at me." I said, "Brian Gosler, have a go at him, he paid it." I said, "You don't have a go at him, do you?" Because he battered 2 fans that went on his pitch, do you remember? I apologise to him. He kissed the copper in the tunnel at Wembley for looking after the team. I was there, I saw him do it. In 1976, Brian Clough went to a funeral in Newcastle. He dug up Frank Clark, put a number 3 shirt on his back. What a nice gentle start I had. My debut was against Liverpool, Charity Shield, Wembley. The day Keegan and Bremner exchanged shirts half an hour before the end. Well, I mean, I knew where to go. I went to the back of the tunnel, keep my head down. I've got a millstone round my neck. It's a £250,000 pillow on it, I remember reading it. I'm looking at this Liverpool team, and you'll remember it as well. It was a great team, to be fair to the young lad that's paid his money to come to me. Henry James, Ray Clements, Ray Kennedy, Kevin Keegan, Tommy Smith, Steve Imey, John Tosher, Ian Callan, Chris Lawler. I thought, my God, I went across to look at my team for some reassurance. And there it was, Billy Bremner, Johnny Giles, Reedy, Mabley, Hunter, Cooper, Alan Clark, Eddie Gray, Peter Lorimer. I was the only one in the tunnel I didn't know. And worse than this, I've had to go to Brian Clough asking for tickets for the game. I was on the bones of my arse. I hadn't earned any money at Forest. You know, it wasn't until I joined Leeds that I earned some money. And cap in hand, I said, boss, any chance of 2 tickets for the game at Wembley? What on earth do you want with complimentary tickets, young man?